Okay, it's 6 o'clock. Before we officially open the meeting, I need to read a statement, okay? The public is invited to attend this meeting. The Lawrence Fire Department Merit Commission may impose reasonable restrictions on the number of attendees to control audience density in consideration of existing COVID-19 national emergency. The public may participate remotely by dialing 463-777-8704 and entering the following participation code, 117520. If you'd like to provide comments remotely, please email them to smeyer, that's SMEYER, at cityoflawrence.org, or call 317-542-4551. Okay? Now we can stand with the Pledge of Allegiance, please. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Would you join with me in prayer? Lord, you have entrusted each and every one of us as stewards of your creation. We ask a special prayer for our nation's leaders, our state leaders, and our city leaders as they make decisions daily that impact on each and every one of us. We are experiencing several challenges. May our leaders at all governmental levels look to you for guidance and reassurance. We can't be a nation that looks away from you. We must walk in your footsteps as we strive for unity, safety, and good health. Please guide our hearts as we make our decisions this evening. We seek you first in all we do together. You have asked us to be your shepherds on earth, and in order to achieve that, we must care for all of your people, God's people. May we always be mindful of our service members, our police officers, our firefighters, our EMTs, and all of our medical personnel who serve us on a daily basis during this crisis. We are experiences as well as their loving family who await the safe return home. Thank you, Lord, for looking over the members of this commission as those who experience sickness and return to good health and keeping all of us healthy. We confess they were nothing without you, and our trust is in you completely. In your name we pray. Amen. Okay. Any commission members have any comments? Other than we might have to reintroduce ourselves again, huh? But I think, I don't know if Jessica's going to call in or not, but I don't know if you know or not, but Jessica had quite a bout with COVID-19, and she's recovered now, and she's doing well, but she's, I guess, sprung her ankle or did something to her ankle in a particular case. So, all right, no comments? Chief, any comments?
I just want to say I appreciate everyone coming here. I know that this stuff's been back and forth with the COVID, and it's been listen to the CDC and all these guidelines. We've had it's been like a big roller coaster for us, you know, trying to listen, doing the right thing. So well, I appreciate you guys being here. And the thing I want to stress is that we probably could have delayed this, except for it is time sensitive with the promotional process, and that's why everything was outlined in the original packet, and that's why we're trying to stick as close, well, not as close. We are sticking to the packet as it was designed. We've made some extenuating circumstances about picking up stuff from people versus bringing it in person or email. And so if it's done anything, we've gone beyond what the packet says, and we've adhered to that packet very strictly. Just wanted to comment on that. Okay. Thanks for you guys being here.
All right. The next item of business is approval of the March 13th, 2020 Merit Commission meeting. Sherry has emailed that out to you. Are there any questions on the minutes?
Seemed pretty clear.
Any corrections? We have a motion? Motion for approval?
Move to
a second?
Yes, second.
Got a motion for approval and I got a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. I guess the quorum, right, Shirley? Sherry?
Yes, it does.
Okay, all those opposed? Silent vote anywhere? Okay. Motion's carried. The 13 March 2020 minutes are now approved. Okay, any new business? Who's the spokesman today? Chief or Bob? Okay.
Okay, just to kind of refresh everybody's memory, because this process started back, or the package starting to be picked up on March 13th. We had 3 captains that are on this in the promotional process. We started off to have 11 lieutenants in the process. One candidate sent us an email saying that he opted out of it. That left us 10. And now we're down to 9. There was one candidate that did not turn in the paperwork by 4 o'clock today, which was the due date. And so we are at 9 in the lieutenant's process and 3 in the captain's process. I've got a list of points for your review. And we may, at any time during this meeting, we may get anyone here that has the ability to have an appeal on these points that were assigned. I will tell you one thing that I'm proud of is that we had a promotional committee, and all the members are here tonight except one. The reason I asked those members to be here is that in case you had any questions, these people on this promotion board were directly responsible for calculations. I told them that Chief Walsh and myself would let them handle this process because I think it's important for them to have some say-so in the future of our department. This committee is a union committee that's in our contract, and it's kind of like an advisory board. We can accept their recommendations or not, but I'm here to tell you that everything that this committee has recommended, we have used because they've been great ideas and helped our department move forward. So there was no, I told them that unless they got in the weeds on something, Chief Walsh and myself would kind of sit on the sidelines and watch them do this, and they did a terrific job. And I think they should play an important role in the future of this department. We were very careful that those on the committee that were lieutenants weren't privileged to any information on the captain's process, because some lieutenants that are in attendance now, we would not want them to get a leg up on the next process to see the stuff we discussed as captains. So we kept those separate because those captains, they all have to be at least a lieutenant or captain to be in this on this promotional committee. But like I said, I'm proud of them because they did a great job with this and gave us a lot of good ideas. In fact, we've already started talking about the next process, about some of the things that to make it better. Because you always, no matter what process you always find something that's a little bit different, somewhere you can improve the process, and we've done that. I will give you these forms that you guys can look at. I would ask that we get these back.
Chief, can I ask you to introduce the
Committee? Yep. From your left to right back there is Captain Steve Lazan, Captain Aaron Collins, Lieutenant Jeff Ballack, Lieutenant Eric Jenkins. Captain Kell also served on that committee.
So this is just one copy of each.
Yeah, just one copy for you guys to, and basically, it was based on their points. Those people that all signed those papers that are there, basically when they sign that, they're agreeing to the points that were awarded them. And like I said, they know that tonight would be the time if they needed appeal, they would be here at this meeting to appeal that, or give us something in writing by 4 o'clock today saying they were going to appeal. And I thought not only having the committee here, I thought it was important to have them here in case you had any questions, but we do have the city attorney that's available by phone in case there's any questions but normally when there's no appeals, it's just, that's the best situation you can have, that you should go right through this, so. We had one of the firefighters that was originally going to make an appeal, and I think he changed his mind and is going to make that a recommendation and for the next process we have to offer some insight into the next one we have. And what I'm asking for tonight, if there's no appeals, is that after you review these points that were awarded, is that we go into the record as the qualified to continue in this process. Chief Wallace will be sending an email out tomorrow or even tonight to the one individual that didn't turn their packet in by 4 o'clock today. So they'll be notified via email tonight or in the morning.
Didn't return their packet in.
Did not return, yes. And just so you're aware of, I was talking about circumstances that we offered up, whether it was a weekend after hours, to go pick up information to make this process work. So if we went to pick up their search or whatever, they were put in an envelope, sealed, and signed by the applicant, by the candidate, and they were not opened until that committee met, and that committee opened those packets. So the administration, they were sealed until this committee was brought back together to open them and award the points.
All right.
And one of the basic hurdles that we asked was last year. It said that the city council would have to pass something before we brought it to the mayor commission, or vice versa. And the way we explained to the council is the mayor commission is familiar with how we operate in the fire department. So now we don't have a redundant. Any changes that we request to this board can be made independently of the city council. We can work as our own entity here, which is the way it's supposed to work. So we're not double working everybody.
Right.
Redundant.
Who's the chairman of the committee?
Captain Glazan. Do you have any questions for these guys?
I may have. I just want to know, is everything pretty absolutely clear to the committee as you work through the process and assign the points and everything? Is there anything that we can clear up?
I think, as the chief said, it's just like any process. We learn every time we do one of these. Sometimes we overlook things. This was kind of the second time this committee has been part of the promotion process, and I believe we improved from the last process to this one. But again, as he said, we're still going to find things that we can improve upon. But as far as the clarity, I felt like we were all on the same page, and everything was pretty clear when we met, and we all had a pretty good idea of the route that things needed to progress. So as far, and unless any of you guys have any comments, things that weren't clear, we were all on the same page as far as everything went.
As the chief mentioned also, that wanted to make sure that the protection of the process from the lieutenants to the captain, and you're perfectly satisfied that
Yes.
that was.
Yeah, we're that's priority one, is to maintain the integrity of the process and not give anybody an unfair advantage over somebody else. So only captains were present during captains process discussions. Captains were also present during lieutenant process discussions, because we've already been through the lieutenant's process, so it doesn't hurt to get input from both those ranks. But as far as the captain's process, it was just myself, Captain Collins, and Captain Kill that were present, along with Chief Batalis and Chief Wallace, who are also captains.
Yeah. Right. Amy, you have questions?
I don't. Everything sounds pretty clear.
No, I don't think so.
Because even as chiefs, if we would held like lieutenant's rank, we would have to step aside during those
Right.
discussions, because chiefs are also allowed to go through those processes to obtain a merit rank. So we would have to remove ourselves from those talks. We could have stayed in on the lieutenant's talks, but we would have to remove ourselves. But Chief Wallace and myself are both merit captains.
Good. Thank you, Chief. Okay. All right.
So my asking tonight, my recommendation is that I'm asking the Merit Commission to approve the points as awarded, given that there's not any appeals that for you to hear, either via the phone or here in person. Then I would ask that there's approved as you've reviewed them.
Okay, we have reviewed 3 captain's points on the sheets, and we reviewed 9 lieutenant points, correct? I counted them. You good, Tom? All right. Any questions at all on anything that you saw on the sheets?
I don't have any. It all seemed quite clear. And the fact that they signed off, also helps.
Chief, what are the numbers of people that will be promoted?
Right now, according to the merit law, we have a 2-year list. There's no vacancies right now.
Oh, okay.
Current list expires, I believe, in November or December. I believe it's closer to December, isn't it? December 5th. So we would be operating underneath the old list until that expires, and then we will take this new list.
Okay.
Mr. President, I don't know if you want to entertain this with this motion or a separate one, but also need the person that we're asking to be removed because they didn't turn it in. I'm not sure if that needs to go before this, so you guys, this commission can support that, because like I said, it was very clear that those paperwork had to be turned in, and it's very evident that everybody else in the process had their stuff in before 4 o'clock today.
Yeah. All right. Anyone have any questions? Okay, do I have a motion to approve the process and points for the 3 captains?
So moved.
A second?
Yes, second.
Okay, got a motion and a second to approve the points for the 3 captains. Okay, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, okay. So the motion is approved for the captains, all right? Now, I need a motion for the 9 lieutenants, okay?
So moved.
Amy, motion? Okay. Approval? I assume the motion is approval.
Yes, motion of approval, please.
Approved, okay. Got a motion and a second for approval for the 9 lieutenants' points. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. So motion's carried. Third motion now. Third motion is that we will notify the 1 lieutenant that did not turn his point sheet in, candidate for lieutenant, did not turn his point sheet in before, I assume it's a he.
I'm sorry?
I assume it's a he.
It's a he, yes.
Did not turn his point sheet in for the process before 4 o'clock today. And that is 4 June. Okay. Do I have a motion to that effect? Tom, got a motion?
Second.
Got a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carried. Okay. So this individual will be notified on 5 June, right?
Yes.
Okay. All right.
And like I said, again, I appreciate the work of this commission, and if there's anything that comes up, we'll keep you abreast of via email if there anything comes up in the agenda for the next meeting.
Okay. Okay. For the record, we started the meeting tonight at what time, Sherry?
6.
6 on the nose, about a minute after, right? Okay, the time now is 20 after 6. We've been through the discussion and the process. We approved the 2 captains and the 9 lieutenants.
3 captains.
I'm sorry, 3 captains and the 9 lieutenants. And we also approved a motion for notifying the 1 lieutenant, the 1 candidate for lieutenant that did not turn the paperwork in time. So the record notes it is 6:20, and so for purposes, that takes care of the promotion process, okay? All right,
Thank you very much.
anything else? Bob, how come you're so quiet tonight?
Oh, I found myself in less trouble being that way.
That's a good point.
A smart man.
More listen and no talk, right?
Sounds like a married man to me.
Okay, anything else? Any good of the order comments by anyone? Well, I do. I want to thank all the firefighters because since early March, we've had quite a challenge. And the city of Indianapolis has had quite a challenge. Lawrence has had quite a challenge. All of our emergency response personnel throughout the county has had quite a challenge. And I'd like to give you a big attaboy for what everyone has done, taking care of the citizens, and also staying healthy at the same time. Oh, question for you, Chief. I forgot to ask, did all the respirators, the mask and everything arrive on time?
Yeah, every full-time employee has, well, actually, even the part-time, we've got APRs that they're wearing, and we put out special directives to cover the firefighters, because a lot of times they go on alarm runs at like these long-term care facilities or whatever, and those are still in effect because, there are a lot of these high cases were in some of these facilities. So there's directives that are covering that. We end up having 26 people quarantined in our department, 5 positive tests, and everybody's back to work now.
Good.
And thank goodness we didn't have anything that was real severe. But when you have that many people, it affects. But our people have done a great job. A lot of stress, but I'm telling you that they've gone out there and done a great job dealing with the public. And there's just a lot. There's a lot going on. We had a crew that somebody tried to spray them with some aerosol to sanitize them, and so they've been up against quite a bit. And I said they've done a great job on representing the fire department of this city and just healthcare workers in general. They've done an absolutely great job in serving this community.
Have you been tasked at all to go downtown?
We've had our SWAT medics that are firefighters. 3 of our SWAT medics have been detailed downtown for some of the violence down there. But as far as I know right now, we have a mutual aid agreement with the whole county. So if something got out of hand, it wouldn't be unusual for us to cross over city jurisdictions or townships to help somebody else out. And we already have those agreements are already in place.
Have we had any issues in Lawrence as far as the violence?
There's a couple instances where there was a water bottle fight that the police quickly dispersed. I don't think it was anything major. It was handled professionally. The police were on it, but now they've got directives. Anytime they deal with the public, they have to have their mask on. But there's been some areas that were close to Lawrence that were kind of a little touch and go. But as far as Lawrence goes, we have not had any actual incidents here in Lawrence.
Excellent. I know there were rumors flying around Facebook that they were coming up to Lawrence Park or something, but we never heard anything beyond that.
Not very violent. It was more of I would say, older teenagers, young adults, and I don't think anything got really out of hand. And they left peacefully. When the police arrived, the police had no trouble dispersing that, according to Chief Hoffman. So,
Thank you.
Do you also have not only the mask, but do you have the shields too?
the shields kind of get in the way of the APRs, but they wear eye protection. And then if the firefighters, if they wear all their gear with their face piece on air, it serves the same purpose as the APR. So we've it's an either or. We've left it kind of up to them, just, as long as they're protected and the exposure. Because if they're there in their full PPE, even if they come in contact with somebody that's positive, it's a zero exposure because they have all that PPE on.
Are you also experiencing a lot of time of disinfecting all the trucks and so forth?
Yeah, we've kind of, I wouldn't want to say we've relaxed, but we're doing it not as often. If they get a patient that has flu-like symptoms, those ambulances are getting sanitized immediately after the run. The firehouses are getting done about every 2 weeks. This room's getting done every couple of weeks. So we're keeping up with that. We have the product, but we borrow a fogger that we use that to sanitize. As far as the equipment, the community's been awesome. We had a company come in and even do all the fire apparatus that didn't harm any of our electronics in the cabs of those engines. So that's been done also. And I think one of the best things they can do, they're doing a really good job of wiping stuff down the firehouse, wiping stuff down in the apparatus. So basically, since we've been past that, those quarantines, just knock on wood, this department's been very healthy.
Good.
I like to see it stay that way.
All right. Amy, anything? Tom, anything?
No, I'd like to echo what you said. Thank you. I want to thank all of you for what you do.
Okay. Thanks, committee. All right. We're down to a portion of the meeting now that I need a motion for adjournment.
So moved.
Got a motion, you're awful quick there, Amy. Tom, I assume you second that. Okay, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Meeting is adjourned. You got the time, Jerry?
I did, 6:27.